Hello there, my name is Maxine. Welcome back to my yoga YouTube channel. If you are new to yoga, don't worry, just do what you can. I will try to offer modifications, but just do what you can, take away what you want and leave out what you don't want. Most importantly, just to follow your breath throughout so that we can just connect the mind with the body and tune into our inner essence of peace and calm and love and joy that we hold inside resides within us always. So let's just prepare now. On foot, stand nice and tall. Feet I like to turn slightly in over because it helps align the joints nicely, so together are hip width apart. Pelvis tucked under and shoulders softly roll back and down. So standing nice and tall, as if there was a thread pulling from the top of our head up from the sky, really lengthening through the spine. Taking a nice deep inhale, raising up the arms, filling up the lungs, and bring the palms to prayer. And let's just take a moment to ground and center ourselves, just to prepare to peel back all of those unwanted layers that we accumulate on a daily basis. So first of all, you might like to take a nice deep breath in and a big sigh out if you feel you want to release any stress and tension that you might be holding on to, once, twice or three times. And then let's tune into the natural breath in and out through the nose to your own natural rhythm. And you may want to set an intention also before we begin. That could be whatever you'd like to get out of the class today, or some goal or achievement that you'd like to set for the future. And the stronger our intentions, the more powerful they are, and the more powerful the result will be also. First of all, we are going to cactus the arms with a nice deep inhale, opening up the heart, maybe soften the knees to help take the heart to the sky, and then exhale as we cross the arms and give ourselves a hug, tucking the chin into the chest. Inhale, open, and exhale, cross the arms the opposite way, give yourself a hug and ground it down. Inhale, open, and exhale, cross once again the opposite way, round it down and hug it in. Inhale, and last time, cross and round it in. Now keep the chin tucked in, let the arms fall down by your sides and hold it here for several breaths, just to allow a nice stretch the neck. And then let us take an inhale as we let our head roll to one side, here to the shoulder and to the back. Exhale, over to the opposite ear, to the front, and then again around. Inhale, over to one side. Exhale as we bring it back to the other side and to the front, and then the opposite direction. Exhale as we come to the opposite side. Inhale to the ear. And exhale. Now raise the arms and lift the head, palms together, slight back bend, and press, soften the knees, hinge and fold, just letting the weight of the body pull you down. You may want to grab the elbows, allow the arms to fall for the floor. I think this is a great way to begin because it just stretches out the spine, it opens up the hips a little, it stretches down the backs of the legs gently. Just maybe have a little sway, alternately bending one knee, straightening the other leg, or you may want to take little pulses up and down in the center. It also relaxes the head, neck and shoulders, letting go of any stress and tension that we may be holding on to. Nice nourishing breath, fresh oxygen to the brain. And then taking the palms to the ground, planting them, fingers spread wide, and step it back into our first downward facing dog. Again, pushing the ground away, lengthening through the spine, activating the shoulders, hips to the sky, heels towards the ground, stretching out the backs of the legs. You can bend the knees to push the hips up higher. Just relax the head down. I want to just sink it down, heart towards the ground, but don't let it collapse. That's why we push the ground away through the palms, so we're nice and active and strong. Maybe a gentle sway of the hips from side to side. Again, nice deep nourishing breath, or a little pedal. Or if it's a little too much for you to come into a down dog straight off, you can take it into a tabletop, or maybe you want to begin in a child pose. Child pose is not always comfortable for everyone to begin with. And then let's take the gaze forward down into tabletop if you are not already here. So hands underneath the shoulders. Always when the palms are on the ground, fingers spread wide. It helps give us more balance and stability. And we want the knees underneath the hips. And then let's begin with just a little movement of any kind that feels good for you. Maybe it's a simple cat-cow with inhale, chin up, tailbone up, tuck it under as we exhale. Or just move the body, closing the eyes, feeling the weight of the body in any which way feels good for you. Follow the breath. And then begin to lower the bum towards the heels. If your knees feel a little tight, just bring it back and forth and gradually lower down a little bit by little. And then when you are comfortably down, a little rock from side to side, just getting the synovial fluid moving around in the joints, warming them up nicely. You may want to take it out to one side, over the wrists and out to the other side, back down and around in the other direction. Just anything that feels good for you. Stretching the arms out in front into one variation of child pose. Active arms, arms straight, pressing either the fingertips into the ground. Passive arms, or palms planted, straight arms, or passive arms. Let the forearms collapse down, just fall and rest in the forehead. Or prayer behind the head. And at any time you feel you need to take a break, feel free to come down into a child pose of your choice. Modify the poses, again, like I said, in any way which suit you. It's your practice, so whatever feels good for you. Just most importantly, just to move and flow with the breath and the body. And then let's take in the gaze forward, inhale up the wrists, the shoulders over the wrists, checking at this point that the insides of the elbows are rotated forward, so that will bend the elbows will come tucked into the ribs, opposed to out. That's maybe like for thread the needle. Most of the time we need to keep the elbows tucked in. So as we've inhaled forward, now we would take the weight forward as we exhale, bringing it down, chest and chin to the ground, and then pull the shoulders back, push up through the palms into baby cobra, and exhale it back. So I like to begin this way also, just for you to get the hang of connecting the breath with the body. So inhale forward, exhale down, inhale up into cobra, maybe a little higher the next time, exhaling back. So just take several rounds in your own time. Inhale forward, Make sure the elbows are rotated. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push up maybe each time a little higher in the cobra. Elbows always bent in the cobra. Exhale back. And this time, hold it in the cobra for several breaths. Don't collapse down, pulling the shoulders back away from the ears. And then let us sit it back into child pose, just with the knees together once again. Activate the arms, or passive, or pray. A little rock from side to side. And then let's lift it up. So we're sat upright and take an inhale up to the sky. And exhale, reaching down. I'm going to bring it forward. I'm still in the picture. And over. So bending the elbow, reaching over so we can feel as deep a stretch as possible down the side. You may want to look at the fingertips, making sure that your arm hasn't fallen forward. It's in alignment with the body, all nicely rounded over. And then you can check and look at the ground just to see where you are positioned with the hand and the elbow. And then inhale up to the sky. And exhale to the opposite side. And again, maybe reach over, looking at the fingertips. Look to the ground just to see where you are. Several nice deep breaths. And then as we lift up the arm, let us just fall over onto the side where your hand is on the ground. Straighten out the leg. And maybe slightly reposition this leg as we find a comfortable place, shifting the bum cheeks out of the way and some the flesh behind us. And gently lower down and fold. And relax and breathe. And then bring it up with a nice deep inhale and let us turn and face the side lengthways, the torso aiming to come down onto the straight leg. Inhale, exhale, lower it down and grab the foot. So you may find this knee repositions itself just to allow us to pull down as close as you can. So whether you're getting hold of your calf or your ankle or the foot or a strap is ideal in this pose, just to gently pull yourself a little closer down that straight leg. And then come up and let us turn and reach the hand on the opposite thigh as we turn and look behind. A nice twist. And then position the hand behind, about a foot behind your bum. And then we're going to lift it up, pushing the hips up into Wild Thing. Hips and heart to the sky. Nice deep breath. A lovely little back bend. And then let's sweep it around and down. This time we're going to reach down the side of the leg, opposed to front ways. We want to go sideways. So first of all, you could grab the foot or the ankle or have a strap. And then as we pull down, push also on this thigh just to help gently stretch out up the side. Several breaths. And then maybe you can reach over, so don't worry if you're not reaching for the foot completely, just to reach and stretch over to as close to as you can reach. Nice deep breaths. Always just trying to pull down a little fraction further on the exhale. And then release. And then now bring the straight leg across, bend the knee and place it on the outside of the opposite thigh. If that's a little bit of a struggle for you, straighten out the bottom leg. So you just simply got that foot across onto the opposite side of the thigh. Or you may want to take it further around where both knees are pointing forward and both feet you are on the tops of the outsides of. So anywhere you can find a nice straight spine. And then the same hand as the knee that is highest, take that hand behind, right behind, and use that arm as a prop to lift and lengthen through the spine. Opposite arm across, there's extra leverage to twist it round. And just relax and breathe, enjoying that lovely twist. And then release from the ground, take the arm out behind, turn the palm facing up over, and then bend in the elbow, bringing the hand, the back of the hand into the centre of the back. Walk it up, help it up with the other hand if you need to. Straps, belt, or even a towel would be a good idea here. You would just hold it, throw it behind, grab it with the fingers and walk the fingers together to meet if you're not already meeting them together. And once again, just in another moment of stillness, anytime you find that moment of stillness, just relax into it and breathe. And then let's release and give the shoulders a little massage. So circle them around in one direction, the opposite way. And then roll the head one way and the other. And now just going to untangle the legs, but we're taking the bottom leg shin parallel with the front of your mat, and then the opposite shin on top if possible. Now you might find your knees right up there, don't worry about that. Just lean back with the hand of the same leg that's on the bottom and just gently press on the thigh just above the knee to bring it down. So even if your legs are crossed like that and you're right up there, just gently pushing that knee down. So either way, just make it suitable for yourself. So you can try firstly pushing the leg down and then maybe just lifting up, rocking it forward, reaching forward or resting it down, or maybe walking the fingers and the hands out in front. Either hold it here or you could take little pulses. So it's a great hip opener. Hip openers are excellent for anyone with sciatica. And then let's lift it up. Let's release the legs, and then we're going to find our way into a tabletop. So maybe you aren't able to just reach forward and turn into one here. You could just swivel it round on your bum and back up onto your hands and knees. And then at this point, take some more cat-cows. Just to massage the spine off a little further in your own fashion. So you follow the breath. And then back down onto the knees. And once again, inhale up to the sky. Exhale, reach down, bending the elbow to lower down and over the top. Maybe looking at the fingertips if possible. Several breaths to the ground and back up again. And then sweep it up to the sky with a nice deep inhale. Exhale, reach down. Again, bending the elbow, reaching over the top without falling forward. Want to keep the arm in alignment with the side body. And then let's lift up slightly and sit down on the side with the hands on the ground. Straighten the opposite leg out to the side and then sit it up, maybe just repositioning this leg, shifting out the bum cheeks out of the way, and then walking it forward, resting it down. So it doesn't matter how high or how low you are, wherever you are at is perfect. Just relaxing and breathing, and then bring it up, and then we're going to turn the torso, lengthen over as close to as you can. That's the mat making those noises, by the way, I'm not pumping. And a little closer. And release. And let's turn it around, hand behind, the opposite on the thigh, and lift it up and twist it around. Several breaths. And then plant the palm about a foot behind the bum cheek and lift it up into Wild Thing. Hips and heart to the sky. A nice little back bend. And then sweep it around and down. This time I want to reach sideways. So we're stretching over the top side now. So again, you can pull wherever you can get hold of here and push just to help ease in that stretch. And then maybe you can reach over and grab for the foot. Pulling it in a little closer, nice deep stretch down the side. And then let's release it up. And as we do so, bring the straight leg across, bend it. So as before, you could straighten out the bottom leg, or either foot flat, or maybe bring it around a little further so both knees are pointing forward and the both feet are on the tops of the outsides. And then the same hand as the highest knee, take that arm behind, use it as a prop, opposite arm on the thigh to deepen the twist. And just look behind, closing the eyes, and just nice deep relaxing breaths. Pushing maybe a little fraction further around, deepening the twist as much as you can. And then the hand from behind, lift it up, turn the palm to the sky, bend the elbow, and help it with the other hand if you need to. So the back of the palm is coming up the centre of your spine. Reach up, bend the elbow, reach for the fingertips. If you have the fingertips, try lifting that elbow up to the sky. And chin up. You'll find one side's tighter than the other. One side you might be more easily able to reach for the fingers, the opposite side. When I first tried this, I couldn't do it. But with practice, you will get there. And then release, and again, shoulders massaged in a nice little circular motion in one direction and the other. Rolling the head one way, then the other. And then let's reposition the legs. So the bottom leg, we want to try to aim for the shin parallel with the bottom of the mat, and then the other one on top. So foot just above the knee on the thigh, and there it could be here, and it will go down just gently. Motion, if it doesn't happen now, just practice and you will eventually get there. So I'll do that, and just rest it forward. Again, you might have to have a little wiggle, just shifting the bum cheeks and the flesh out of the way, and just rest it down. So whether you are here or your legs are just naturally crossed, it gives you the same effect. And obviously the lower you go, the deeper it gets. And then a nice deep breath as we bring it up, untangle the legs and find our way back onto the tabletop. And then let's inhale, chin up, tailbone up, tuck the toes under, lift it up, sink it back into downward facing dog once again. Remember, don't sink, push the ground away. We're activating those arms and shoulders. Relax the head, palms planted, fingers spread wide, just feeling the palms pressed into the mat, the feet, the soles of the feet, or maybe it's just the balls of the feet you can feel touching the mat, the heels maybe up. Bend the knees if need be. You want to get the hips to the sky. And then gaze forward. You can either walk the feet to the hands, or if you want to, come onto the balls of the feet, take it forward, bend the knees as we come back, and jump it through to the front of the mat, folding it in here. So we want bent knees because we want the chest to come to the thigh as we're hinging from the hips. Relax the head down to come towards the shins. Grab onto either the backs of the calves, ankles, or big toes. Maybe you like to place the palms underneath the soles of your feet. It's up to you. Just pulling it in. Nice deep stretch down the backs of the legs. And then let's release it up to the sky. Nice deep inhale and press. We exhale to the heart. Well done. So just taking a moment just to notice how we feel. So tune into the breath, slowing it down after it maybe going a little faster by now, with the heartbeat going a little quicker. Checking out the posture. And composing ourselves, preparing for our next little sequence. So always have some water at hand beside you to keep you rehydrated. So just do whatever you want to be doing in between to prepare for the next little sequence. So once again, always before we begin, checking out the posture, really lengthening through the spine. Checking the feet are slightly turned in over. If your feet are together, just maybe it's just a small inch gap between the heels to align the joints. shoulders down and back, arms down by our sides in mountain pose. Inhale up to the sky, palms together, slight back bend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway flat back, hands on shins, or the core, or the thighs, or the ground. Bend the knees, hands down, step the right foot back, followed by the left foot into plank. And checking the elbows are rotated. And drop the knees if you wish to. So we'll inhale, exhale, forward, down. Halfway through now, but all of the way to the ground. Shoulders back, elbows tucked in. Cobra or up dog. Up dog, we've got the hands directly underneath the shoulders, straight, the arms, and the legs are straight. We're just allowing the hips to fall. And taking it into a down dog with high hips. We don't want too much distance between the feet and the hands because it allows us to step through more easily if we have high hips. So take several nice deep breaths here, finding that nice strong triangle. Raising the right leg up to the sky. Straighten the leg, tension right through, bum cheek, thigh, calf, point the foot. Flex, pushing into the heel. Point. Bend the knee, let the foot fall behind, pushing the ground away. Feel that extra opening in the up of the hip. Circle the foot in one direction. Nice conscious breath, send the other direction. And back again. Point the foot, straighten the leg, lift as high as you can, square the hips to the ground, come onto the ball of the left foot, right knee through to the nose, hips high, weight forward, maybe come onto the fingers, step that foot through, grab the ankle to help it through if you need to. So at this point, just check that your knee is above your ankle, that foot is alignment with this hip, and this foot's alignment with this hip, and bring it up into a lunge. So let's just take several breaths here. And then as we inhale, exhale, inhale as we lower down and open the heart. Inhale, exhale as we bring it up. Inhale as we bring it open in the heart, down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Back knee could be bent or straight. Inhale down. Exhale, sweep the hands to the ground, uncurl the back foot. Sit back and straighten the leg. We don't want to be down here, so if that's the case, slide that heel forward. So we're more or less got the knee underneath the hip. And then hips are square, lengthening through the spine. Taking a nice inhale. Exhale, hinge and fold. It's fine to soften the knee if you need to. And hold it for several breaths here. Maybe lengthen a little further, look forward, inhale, exhale, fold it down a little closer. And then let's bring it up. Inhale up to the sky for several breaths. And then let us take the left hand back and stretching the top hand back, the arm back with the left hand back. And then exchange. Cartwheel the arms the opposite way. Several breaths here. Stretching it open, back both ways as far as possible. And then inhale. Exhale, turn. Several breaths here. So we're lengthening through the torso, don't let it collapse. We're just really lifting and activating. And then inhale, exhale. Either reach down the leg or you can reach the hand behind the back to the opposite thigh. And then let's leave go and lengthen through the spine, hooking the elbow over the opposite knee. Help it if you need to. Push and hook it over. Push the palms towards the heart center. Several breaths. And then release back to the sky. Swoop it down. And then come onto the toes of the back foot. Lift it up, rock it into pyramid. So the back foot is 45 degrees. Use blocks as well if you need to. Soften the knee if you need to. Feet on separate tracks. And lengthen, hinge and fold. Deep breath, deep stretch a little closer. You may grab a hold from behind. Just gently rest it down. And then lift up about halfway and place the hand, again off a block if need be, to the ground on either side, on your foot maybe or on your shin, and reach to the sky. Several breaths, stretching it up. And then let's sweep this hand forward as we lift up halfway, squaring the hips, really lengthening with our hand as far so we've got the hips nice and square. Eventually aiming for the hand to come on the outside, but so you could place it here on a block, foot or to the opposite side. Hand on hip, pull the shoulder and the elbow back to point at the sky. If you are here, then reach to the sky. And then sweep the hand down, step the feet together. It's coming back a little bit so I'm in view. Fold it down. Maybe have a little ragdoll, gently sway, just bending and straightening the legs. Nice, nourishing breath. Just feeling that exhilaration after that exertion. You've worked hard there. So it's nice to just feel that release and appreciate and enjoy it. And then when you're ready, lift it up with a nice deep inhale. And exhale, prayer. So just taking that moment of stillness. Conscious breath. Being fully present. Just noticing how you feel, any sensations in the body. Maybe you can feel that subtle energy body flowing more freely. Any blocked energy is being released. Well done. So once again, composing ourselves, do whatever you feel you want to be doing in between these little sequences. And preparing for the other side. So as always, before we begin, so we end like that and we begin like this. Tuning into the breath, checking out the posture. Being fully present. Arms down in mountain pose. Inhale up to the sky. Palms together, slight back bend. Press, soften the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Remember shins, thighs over the ground. Bending the knees, hands down. You could jump back into chaturanga if you know how to. Otherwise, step the left foot back this time, followed by the right foot. Drop the knees if you need to. Check the elbows are rotated. So as we shift the weight forward, inhale, exhale it down. All of the way or halfway, then through and up dog. And then back to down dog. Again, a nice Strong triangle with high hips. Deep breath in and out. Left leg straight up in line with the body. Try and straighten, tense right through bum, cheek, thigh, calf. Point the foot. Flex the foot. Point. And bend the knee, let the foot fall behind. Push the ground away. See if you can notice that extra stretch up the ground when you push, up your side, sorry, when you push the ground away. Circle the foot. One way, then the other. And back again. Point, straighten the leg, square the hips. Come out the ball of the right foot, left knee through the nose, hips high, weight forward, maybe come onto the fingertips, grab the ankle if need be to help it through. So checking as well, your knees over your ankles. So you don't want to be there and you don't really want to be here, you want to be just with the knee above. Feet on separate tracks. And several breaths in the lunge, so you can soften the knee or have it straight. And if you wanted to, you could lower the knee, you don't have to be off the toes. And then taking a nice deep breath in and out. Inhale, lower as we open the heart. Exhale it up. Inhale, lower. Up. And this time, stay down, inhale. Exhale, sweep it to the ground. Sit it back, straighten out the leg, flexing the foot. Inhale and exhale, lower it down. So the knee, the bum can be a little further back than the knee, just wherever's suitable for yourself. Deep breaths, pulling it down a fraction closer on the exhales. And then let's lift it up. Knee above the ankle once again. Nice inhale up to the sky. And several breaths as we hold it here. Pushing into the hip with the pelvis tucked under at the same time. You may feel it up the right thigh. And then let us sweep the right arm down. So opening both arms up and back for several breaths. And then cartwheel and exchange. Several breaths. And if you feel a bit wobbly, you must realise that if you've got your feet in alignment with your knee, you'll feel like you're on a tightrope. So make sure that the feet and the knee, or the feet are quite a distance, well, not a hip width apart. And then inhale, exhale, turn to the side as we lift the arms forward and back. Several breaths, push it up, torso vertical. And then let's either reach in behind the back to the opposite thigh, or down the leg as far as you can reach to. Nice little back bend. Several breaths. And release, prayer. Lengthen through the spine. Hook the elbow over, push the palm to the heart center. And release back to the sky. Nice deep inhale, exhale, sweep the hands to the ground, come onto the ball of the back foot, lift it up and just rock it, step it in. Feet on separate tracks, back foot 45 degrees, lengthen through the spine. using blocks whenever you need to. Soften the knee if you want to do that, and hinge and fold. Nice deep stretch, deep breaths, pulling it in a little closer. Bringing it up halfway. Same hand as the foot, down either side, or on the foot, on the shin, or on a block, and reaching the opposite hand to the sky. And then reaching this top arm forward as we lift up about halfway, and squaring the hips as square to the front as possible, and which allows us to reach over to the opposite side eventually. And or you could stay here on a block, maybe use your shin to rest on, and then lift and place a hand on the hip, so we're aiming for the shoulder, the elbow to peek up to the sky. If you are here, raise the arm up, several breaths. And then bring it down, step it together, and just rest it down in a ragdoll. Deep nourishing breath, just relax. And then bring it up to the sky with a nice deep inhale, and pray. Taking that moment of stillness. So we deepen and slow down the breath. Noticing how you feel, just being fully present. Closing the eyes, or just taking the gaze off the tip of the nose. Arms down in mountain pose. When you are ready, inhale back up to the sky, palms together. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. I'll just come back a little so I'm in view, and then bending the knees, hands down. If you want to jump back, try and jump back into half plank. Palms planted, fingers spread wide always, which helps our stability and balance. And then just leaning forward, we'll want to bend the elbows already prepared, opposed to landing with the arms straight, because it tends to put pressure on the joints when we do that. So trying to land with the arms bent. So lifting up the hips and jumping it back into that half plank, and then through and up dog. And let's take a wide knee child pose. Stretching it out, resting the head, allowing the heart to sink. Maybe take a little rock, a little forehead massage. And then bringing the hands in. Take a little sway from one side, looking over the opposite shoulder to the opposite side. And here, let us bring the knees in slightly, just wider the hips, across the ankles over, so we can end Sat on our bums, straightening out the legs, leaning forward, shifting the bum cheeks out of the way, and let us reach up, bending the knees so on a hinge. So if your knees needed to be as bent as this, that would be perfectly fine, because we're aiming to bring the chest to the thighs. So depending on your flexibility, if your chest's touching the thighs, you could maybe straighten the legs a little further out. Just rock the bum cheeks back out of the way. Reach it up. Inhale and exhale, fold, reaching to wherever you can get hold of. It could be your calves. So pull the chest to the thighs, the head falls to the shins, grab the ankles maybe, the feet, use a strap, so you could be here, and just gently pull it and slide, and gradually stretching out the hamstrings. And then when you are ready, let's sit it up. Now you may want to just finish off right now, rolling down into Shavasana on your back, so you're welcome to do that. But I think I will end the class today with sat cross-legged. So in any cross-legged position that's comfortable for you, whether it be like this, steps and stages to find a lotus would be to take the heels as close to into the center as possible, which allows the knees to go down. Half lotus, bringing the foot into the groin. Or full lotus, just let that foot come out and place it over the top. So that all takes time. Finding a nice straight spine wherever you are. Inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, turn, reach behind using that arm as a prop. Grab onto the thigh as extra leverage to twist. Serve a breath. And release the hand from behind. Inhale it up to the sky. Exhale, reach over to the opposite thigh. Pull the torso to the center so the tops of the arms are crossed, and then eagerly the arms and the hands, or just pray the hands if you're struggling to find that pose. Inhale up to the sky. And exhale, fold it down once again. Inhale, reach it up. Release. And exhale, turn, reach behind again using that arm as a prop and this hand to deepen the twist as we look behind, and close the eyes and just breathe. Release the hand from behind. Inhale up to the sky and exhale as we reach over. Bringing the torso to the center. Eagle in the arms. Inhale up to the sky. And exhale it, fold it back down. Inhale up to the sky. Release, stretch it out. And bring the palms to prayer, to the heart center. Just taking a moment with the breath. Breathing in, filling up the lungs. And then a big sigh out. Just release, relax, surrender. Letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. Just taking a moment as we inhale and look into the center of the forehead, into that emptiness, feeling the lightness of the subtle energy body flowing freely now. And just immerse yourself into that nothingness. And in the stillness, embody the peace and the calm, and the love and joy that resides within us always. Any thoughts that pop into your mind, acknowledge them, let them go on an exhale, sigh them out, and just come back to the inhale and the lightness of the subtle energy body flowing freely. The perfect time to continue with a meditation. You may want to just rest your hands on the knees, or lie down now in Shavasana. Make a mudra with your hands, or you just whatever feels right for you. Just continue focusing on the breath, catching the thoughts that come in and releasing them before they turn into a story. Or prepare to end the practice with the palms together into prayer. And as always, I end with a moment of gratitude, giving yourself a little thank you for the time that you've taken for yourself in your practice, your body for what it's achieved, knowing that yoga is a journey of self-realization with self-acceptance. So wherever we are at is perfect. Yoga meets us exactly where we are at. Being in a state of gratitude always lifts our spirits and raises our vibration. There's never any room for negativity when we are grateful. And thank you so very much for joining me. And if you do enjoy, would you please like and subscribe? Thanks again. Namaste. Very well done.